weather deck and what remains of Tropical Storm Ophelia. I'm recording this on Monday. I hope by the time this airs on Tuesday we have significantly more improved conditions than this. It's definitely been a soggy few days. Luckily, improvement is on the way. Now, Ophelia is a unique storm. The tropical storm actually formed off the coast of the United States. It's called a homebrew. The low pressure originated actually off towards the Midwest or so, dropped down over Florida, set up offshore of the Carolinas, and then the warm ocean water helped to intensify the low pressure system, developing it into a tropical storm. What makes it a tropical storm? Well, the mechanism on which it forms, warm moist air rising. You have the circulation counterclockwise towards the middle, and the other part of that is the wind speeds have to be greater than 39 miles per hour. So all that criteria is met. We have ourselves a tropical storm. By the time it got up here, it was more of a tropical depression or a low pressure system. A little bit of a nuisance, but it definitely could have been worse. Since we're talking about the tropics, let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center map. You'll see our next system, Felipe, tropical storm out in the Atlantic Ocean. It looks like at this point it may intensify slightly before dropping back down. Right now the track appears to go off towards Bermuda and then hook off towards the west. It'll depend on the timing of other systems as far as how much it gets pushed, but I don't think it'll be an influence here on the East Coast, except maybe a little extra coastal wave action. The two yellow X's indicate some tropical disturbances. The one in the Gulf of Mexico doesn't look like it's going to cause any issues in the near term, but it could create another homebrew tropical storm system down the line, so we want to keep an eye on that. And the one off towards the west has a little bit more promise of developing into something, not in the next 24 hours, but maybe in the next 48 and beyond. So that's something to keep an eye on to see if it impacts us in the next week or so. All right, before I get to your 5-day forecast, one last thing that I want to talk to you about, woolly caterpillars. Woolly caterpillars, I'm sure you've seen these little fuzzy guys around, and there's a folklore saying that you can tell what the winter will be like based on the pattern of the woolly. Now, these woolly caterpillars are not worms, they're caterpillars. They develop into a type of tiger moth, and they are divided up into, I believe it's 13 segments, and the color patterns will vary. There was a scientist back in the early 1900s. He heard of this legend. It's been around for a very long time. He did some research in Bear Mountain, New York, which is not that far from us, actually. It's about 2 hours south of here. And he studied these woolly caterpillars. He counted the number of brown segments and the number of black segments and matched it to the weather pattern. He seemed to find a pattern where if they have a bigger tan section, it was a milder winter. And if you found like a larger black section, it tended to be a more severe, cold, snowy winter. But he realized his sample size was small, his sort of sample area was also small, and so there's some limitations to that as far as scientific inquiry goes. But maybe there's something to it. If you see a woolly caterpillar around, take a look. I've been hearing that the ones in the Hudson Valley this season are mostly brown. So if the legend holds up, that means mild winter. I'm hearing reports, though, from other climate scientists that this winter is expected to be cold and snowy. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But if you're interested in hearing more about weather legends like the woolly caterpillar, how we can tell the weather based on the clouds, how we developed all these things, looking into severe weather, well, Intro to Meteorology is coming back for this year. Sounds like the class will be kicking out this week or next. It'll be happening during one of the periods at lunchtime, either period 6 or period 7. If you're interested in picking up an extra class, if you have too many study halls, you're interested in meteorology, check in with your guidance counselor, and maybe it's something that can fit into your schedule. All right, without further ado, let's get to that 5-day forecast for Red Hook. All right, so for your Tuesday, look for mostly cloudy skies. May see a stray shower or two, and it looks like it'll be a little bit on the chilly side. Highs will be in the mid-60s, below normal for this time of year. Tomorrow, I think, we have a much better day, mostly sunny highs in the mid-60s. But those overnight lows Tuesday into Wednesday looks to be, my forecast data actually had upper 30s. Weather forecasts like National Weather Service and myself are a little bit hesitant to go into the 30s right now, so I'm putting it at a low of 42, but be aware it could be a little bit chilly for your start on Wednesday. For Thursday, look for morning sun, afternoon clouds, highs in the mid to upper 60s. For Friday, mostly cloudy, chance of shower. Some models have it, some don't, so it shows that there's some unreliability there, but throwing in that chance of showers. But we'll start to see those temperatures rebound with highs near 70. And for Saturday, mix of sun and clouds. Highs will be in the low 70s. Some data is also having a chance of rain in for Saturday. It just really all depends on how these weather pressure systems set themselves up over the next couple days. All right, well, that was a lot. I hope you had a great long weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I'll see you again here next week.